All right, everyone. My name is Pascal Borel, and I'm speaking to you from the Swiss mountains. What's happening in the US is absolutely amazing. Again, yesterday, over the weekend, were dismissed 15,000 employees from the IRS. And they want to transform IRS into ERS, External Revenue Services, because did you know that up to the beginning of last century, the 20th century, taxing the citizens was considered unconstitutional. And it is today being at the forefront of the ideas that are driving the US presidency and the new government in place. USAID, 9,600 employees have been dismissed, sacked, finished. In the Center for the CDC, Center for Disease and Control and Protection, it is for 1,500 employees to have been dismissed. And I can carry on. You know, the Department of Energy, it is for 2,000 people to have been dismissed. In the Department of Veteran Affairs, it is for 1,000 employees to have been sacked. In the Department of U.S. Forest Services, it's 3,400 employees to have been dismissed. In the HHS, Health Human Services, it is for 3,600, 3,600 employees to have been dismissed. And Health Human Services, it is always wrapped up in names related to humanitarian services and so forth. And this is a brainwash that you've been the victim of since so long. So it is crazy. It's amazing. They've already saved billions of dollars per year in unnecessary spending at the expense of the US taxpayer. The people who are performing all those actions and getting our systems back straight in the service of the people, for the people, have amazing courage. I was looking at G.D. Vance, the Vice President of the US, and Pam Bondi, General Attorney. They are amazing people. They are saying they were in München, in Munich, in Germany, saying, we want to work with you, Europeans, but we're going to apply reciprocity in the tax systems. If you put tariffs on the goods that you consume coming from the US, we're going to do exactly the same taxes in the other way, in the other side. We will tax your goods and services exactly the same way you tax our goods. And we want just reciprocity. We want equality of treatment, and we're not going to let you rob the US out of taxes which are imposed into a one-way system. No, we want equity. We want equality. And, I absolutely love it. But it goes even further. Why? Because G.D. Vance is saying, and look, the very basis of any democracy is freedom of speech, freedom of expression. And if you are to jail people, put people behind bars because they've expressed their anger at young ladies being raped by illegal immigrants in the UK, people with illegal immigrants which are being paid by the UK taxpayer, they have a quality of life. And yet, when they are totally unlawful, when they do atrocities, obscene behavior, it is for the people denouncing and talking about it on whichever social media platform to be jailed, because they should be censored. No one should know about it. This is crazy. And G.D. Vance is saying, if you jail people because they've expressed their opinion, we're not going to work with you. You are exactly the opposite of what we believe democracies should be. The motto this is not being said by G.D. Vance, but this is from me. I'm just telling you, if you are able to think about it, you should have the right to speak about it and speak it loud. And it is normal. All major evolution steps of the evolution of life have been made around communication. And whether you like it or not, it's a fact of life. I've described it in my first chapter of the book 2024 that you will find on Amazon, on my website, and so forth. So G.D. Vance is saying we're going to put back the freedom of speech, freedom of expression at the forefront of what has been the main driver of the success of democracies. People should be able to express themselves. And if you want to hinder this or disallowed freedom of expression, we're not going to work with you. You will be not our enemy, but you will have to first restructure and sweep your own house, clear the mess in your own house before we do anything with you. But you know what? And Pam Bondi, an amazing woman. She is absolutely incredible, like Tulsi Gabbard. They are fantastic, and they are in key positions of the US administration today. You should look at those two ladies. They will do an incredible job, just like Robert Fitzgerald Kennedy Jr., who's now in charge of health services in the US. And he's going to make people accountable for their misbehavior when it comes to COVID. The extortionate amount of money that they have been used came out no later than this weekend that Anthony Fauci, he's been the relay of probably hundreds of millions of dollars financing the Wuhan Institute in China, from which COVID-19 became a reality and killed millions of people throughout the world. And it is 486 million in the Fauci type foundation, museum, whatever. It is money that has, transited by different organizations just to wash it whiter, so it's untraceable. But the Doge people, thank you Elon Musk, thank you his team, are putting all of this in the light. It goes further. I was looking at a congressman speaking, and he was saying that between the funding of Taliban, ISIS, and Al-Qaeda, on average over the last few years, it was 690 million US dollars from taxpayers, which have been allocated to our enemies, in inverted comma. So we're financing our enemies to justify the use of the military-industrial complex in order to strike wars. And as it is secret defense, of course, you have no transparency, you have no third-party oversight principle to understand what's going on. And of course, as it is defense secret, you don't see what's going on. It is to wash your money away and to... I stop here. But the worst of all, related to the shame on Geneva, shame on Switzerland, shame on Swiss people, is that if you look at the internet search in Washington over the last 3 days, those people have been sacked. And by the way, they've been sacked by a Zoom conference call. I actually love it. We're not gonna... It's incredible. If you look at the internet search, what has risen the most is Swiss banks. It is offshore banks, wire money. All the people that have been in the IRS, in USAID, in all those companies that have organizations that have stolen taxpayers' money for decades, literally. Now they're looking for someone even more dishonest than they have been. And this is for the Swiss people. It is for Switzerland, which has a legal and constitutional framework which is going to protect those crooks, in inverted comma. This is outrageous. It's obscene. Swiss people, wake up. You cannot accept this situation. You have a direct democracy, which in a sense is the pride of Switzerland, whereby people are meant to vote for, and it is true, we vote on a very regular basis here in Switzerland. We are meant to be the sovereign, to be able to define what our representatives, the politicians, are doing on our behalf. And today, when people which have stolen the US taxpayers' money for decades are being sacked, dismissed, fired, the first thing they look at is Swiss banks in order to find accomplice, a person that is going to be able to welcome this stolen money, protect it for the few decades to come. It is mind-blowing. Guys, we need to change the structures of our legal and constitutional framework. We need to rewrite them from scratch. Today, democracies are in ruins. It is like the World Trade Center in New York. You cannot rebuild a new skyscraper on ruins. You need to clear them away. You need to rebuild the foundation on which we're going to be able to recreate and rebuild a one world trade center. A one world. But if we don't scrape away all the ruins in which you live, in which I live today, nothing good will be recreated. Trust my word for that. We need to put back popular wisdom at the forefront of the rewriting of our democracies. All the politicians, all the people that have stolen the money of the people are not bad people. They are the victims of a system which literally forced them in being crooks, thefts. It is because if they don't do it, their competition will be doing it in their place. And this is because the foundations are not solid. You cannot have paper foundations. Otherwise, your building at the first storm, the first wind, is going to collapse again. Now, we need to help those politicians rebuild the foundation that will allow them to be proud of civil service, to be proud of not being the collaborators of the institutionalized theft that has been put in place over the last few decades. We need to trust common popular wisdom, which is very often very humble, by the way, because you will see no one for 95+% of humanity that wants to kill his neighbor to have 3 more cars and 1 more house. We want to live in peace with one another. But if the governance foundations ain't there, it's not going to work. And this is why I'm telling you, I've written every step of this in my book 2024 that you will find for free on www.4ovet24.com. Else, you buy it on Amazon if you prefer the paper format, because you're an old git with a white beard like I am. Be my guest. And actually, if you want it to have a hold on your mind, yes, you should read it in the paper format. You take a pen and you underline what is of essence and importance to you, and you put little notes and everything, and then you'll find a roadmap which tells you exactly how to recreate a constitution, how to recreate a legal framework. I've been working with, you name them, in the US, in Japan, in England, in France, in Switzerland, in South America. So you please go and just do it, because we keep on saying, okay, we've taken our lesson and never again. Yeah, but then we keep on building on what hasn't worked so far. We need to clear away, scrape away all the ruins in which you live today in order to rebuild a one world trade center. That's the only way. And man, I can't find my words. I thank Donald Trump, Elon Musk, Pam Bondi, Tulsi Gabbard, RFK Jr. They are amazing people. And if for once they do what is in the interest of the people and the larger number, if they can go even further and take inspiration from what I've written about the universal constitutions, because let's face it, we're all the same. We all have the same brains. We all have the same two legs, the same two arms, the same two hands. We reproduce all the same way. We are united to be the most collaborative species, the most incredible collaborative species that Mother Earth has ever created in the evolution of life. And we need to give ourselves the structure that allows us to love each other, to collaborate, to do what we do best, have a smile to each other, exchange good services, knowledge with one another as the driver of our personal evolution. This is what the human species is designed for. Let's give it back to the human species. Life has been created by Earth. Life belongs to Earth, and we're going to give it back. This is what I'm suggesting in my book, 2024. Check it out, buy it, read, use it. Get inspiration from what I'm telling you. Use me as a tool to recover your life. Raise on my shoulders. Take inspiration from my mistakes, from the bad and the good things that I have done. But use me. Please don't hesitate. Go, read, check, and thank the new administration in the US for the courage that they have putting back the system in the service of the people, for the people. I thank you for your kind and benevolent attention. May peace be with you and with all human beings of the planet. Peace out.